At the end of the topic, you will be able to understand the political situation in India on the eve of Babur's invasion, identify the wars that were fought to establish his empire, examine the role of Humayun. North India was divided into a number of warring states on the eve of Babur's invasion. There was a lack of political unity. Ibrahim Lodi, the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate, was disliked by his own nobles for his rude behavior. Rana Sangha, a powerful Rajput chief, was eagerly waiting for an opportunity to capture the throne. Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, and Alam Khan, the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi, sent invitations to Babur to invade India. Babur readily accepted their invitation and proceeded towards Lahore at the head of a powerful force. In South India too there were disturbances. Vijayanagar kingdom and Bahmani kingdom were the two major kingdoms, and they were constantly at war with each other. Umar Sheikh Mirza was the ruler of Farghana in Central Asia. His eldest son, Zahiruddin Babur, was born to him in 1483 AD. Babur descended from two Central Asian warriors, Timur, the Turkish hero, from his father's side, and Chengiz Khan, the Mongol, from his mother's side. After the death of his father, Babur became the ruler of Farghana at the age of 11 in 1494 AD.
Babur, the Mughal emperor, invaded India in 1526 AD and defeated Ibrahim Lodi, the Delhi Sultan, in the First Battle of Panipat. The Mughal rule in India started with Babur. Babur lost his kingdom in Central Asia and came to Kabul and established a new kingdom, from where he proceeded to India. After occupying Delhi, he turned his attention towards Rajputs. Rana Sangram Singh was defeated in the Battle of Kanwa in 1527 by Babur. Later, Babur defeated Sultan Nasrat Ali of Bengal in the Battle of Gogra and also succeeded in winning over the Afghans. Babur died in 1530.
Babur had to fight other battles to consolidate his position. Battle of Chanderi was fought in 1528 AD with Medini Rai. Battle of Gagra was fought in 1529 with Muhammad Lodi, and he was victorious in all these battles and very efficiently consolidated his empire in India. He was able to extend his empire from Bihar in the east to Punjab, Kabul, Badakhshan and Kandahar in the west. But Babur was not blessed with long life. He died at an early age of 47 due to illness in 1530. He nominated his son Humayun as his successor before his death. Babur was one of the most brilliant monarchs of the medieval period. He was a great soldier, general, scholar, poet and a religious man as well. He wrote Zuki-i-Babri, or Memoirs of Babur, in Turkish language. He composed poems in Persian language. He was a staunch Sunni Mohammedan, but he was not a religious fanatic. He laid the foundation of the Mughal Empire in India. Humayun was born in 1508 AD in Kabul. He was the eldest son of Babur. He had three brothers, Kamran, Askari and Hindal. He became the governor of Badakhshan at the age of 20. He ascended the throne after the death of his father in 1530 AD. Humayun had to face a number of problems after he ascended the throne. His father had not consolidated the empire. A war of succession broke out soon after his father's death, as the law of primogeniture did not exist at that time. Rajputs were waiting eagerly to drive the Mughals out of India. Sher Khan of Bengal and Bihar and Bahadur Shah of Gujarat posed a great challenge to Humayun. Humayun faced problems on all sides. Humayun was defeated by Sher Khan in 1539 AD in the Battle of Chausa and again in 1540 AD in the Battle of Kanauj. After the defeat, Humayun became a wanderer for 15 years. It was during this period that he got married to Hamida Banu Begum, and their son Akbar was born in 1542 AD in Amarkot. He got back Kabul and Kandahar from his brother Kamran with the help of the Shah of Persia. Later in 1555, he captured Delhi and Agra and became the king again after 15 years. However, he did not live long to enjoy his victory. He died in 1556 AD. He nominated his son Akbar as his successor and Bairam Khan as Akbar's guardian before his death. Humayun means fortunate, but he had been unfortunate all through his life. In this topic, you have learnt Ibrahim Lodi, the last ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, was not liked by his nobles. His uncle Alam Khan and Daulat Khan Lodi, governor of Punjab, invited Babur to invade India. Babur became the ruler of Farghana at the age of 11. Babur won over Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Panipat in 1526 AD. He fought many other battles and consolidated his position in India. Babur nominated his son Humayun as his successor. Humayun faced problems from all the sides when he ascended the throne. He was defeated by Sher Shah and became a landless wanderer for 15 years. He recaptured Delhi and Agra in 1555 but died the very next year. At the end of the topic, you will be able to understand the conquest of Sher Shah, analyze his administrative skills, appreciate his contribution to history. Sher Shah was born in 1472 AD. His original name Farid, his father's name was Hussein. During a hunting expedition, he killed a tiger bravely and was given the title Sher Khan or the Lion King by the Afghan governor of Jaunpur, under whom he started his services. He later joined service under the governor of Bengal. After this, he became the ruler of Bengal and founded the Sur dynasty. He called himself Sher Shah. Sher Khan defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa in 1539 AD. After this, he declared himself as the king of Bengal and Bihar. He was ambitious to capture the throne of Delhi. So, in 1540 AD, he fought another battle with Humayun called the Battle of Kannauj and defeated him. He now occupied the throne of Delhi and Agra and named himself as Sher Shah. He also captured Sindh and Multan. He also brought Marwar, Raisin and Malwa under his control. He died in 1545 AD due to gunpowder explosion in his last expedition against Kalinga fort in Bundelkhand. Sher Shah was a benevolent despot. He exercised his power for the benefit of the people. The ulemas lost their importance. He took keen interest in every part of the administration. Sher Shah had 4 ministers who assisted him in his work. They were Diwan-e-Wizarat, who took care of his income and expenditure, Diwan-e-Ariz, who took care of recruitments in the army and in organizing it as well, Diwan-e-Rasalat was in charge of envoys and ambassadors, and Diwan-e-Insha took care of the royal proclamations and dispatches. Provincial Administration. For efficient administration, the empire was divided into a number of sarkars. The sarkars in turn were divided into a number of parganas. The parganas were further divided into a number of villages. The lowest unit of provincial administration was the village. Revenue administration. The most important source of revenue was land revenue. The land was divided on the basis of fertility and the taxes were fixed. 1/3 of the produce was fixed as the share of the state. Royatwari system was introduced by Sher Shah. Sher Shah is called the forerunner of Akbar because most of his reforms were followed by him. Provincial administration. For efficient administration, the empire was divided into a number of sarkars. The sarkars in turn were divided into a number of parganas. The parganas were further divided into a number of villages. The lowest unit of provincial administration was the village. Revenue administration. The most important source of revenue was land revenue. The land was divided on the basis of fertility and the taxes were fixed. 1/3 of the produce was fixed as the share of the state. Royatwari system was introduced by Sher Shah. Sher Shah is called the forerunner of Akbar because most of his reforms were followed by him. Intelligence Department. The Dagchakki, the spy system, was revived by Sher Shah. They worked very efficiently and enabled Sher Shah to get information from every part of his kingdom. Roads. Sher Shah gave a lot of importance in restoring old roads and he constructed new roads as well. To connect all the 4 corners of his kingdom, he laid 4 important roads. For the benefit of the people, he also built caravansarais along the roads. A caravansarai was a roadside tavern where travelers could rest during their long journey. Currency reforms. Sher Shah was called the father of modern currency because he abolished the old currency, fixed the ratio for silver and copper currencies. Gold and silver coins were used during his period. His name was inscribed in the coins in Devanagari script. The general economic condition of his kingdom improved because of his currency reforms. Sher Shah had made immense contribution in the field of architecture. The Purana Kila at Delhi was built by him. He also built a mausoleum at Sarsaram in Bihar, which depicts Indo-Muslim architectural style. He was a great ruler and a fabulous administrator besides being an empire builder. In this topic you have learned, Sher Shah's original name was Farid. He was given the title of Sher Khan or Lion King by the governor of Jaunpur. He occupied the throne of Delhi and Agra after he defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa and the Battle of Kannauj. Sher Shah was a brilliant administrator. For better administration, the empire was divided into sarkars, parganas and villages. The system of branding of horses and to maintain a descriptive listing of soldiers was introduced by him. He revived the spy system and Dak Chowki to get up-to-date information about his empire. He concentrated on means of communication and fixed the ratio for the silver and copper coins. At the end of the topic, you will be able to identify the conquest of Akbar, understand the role of Bairam Khan, estimate the role of Akbar as a ruler. Akbar was the son of Humayun and Hamida Banu Begum. He was born in Amarkot in 1542. His name was Jalauddin Muhammad Akbar. Soon after his father's death, he ascended the throne at the age of 14. He was one of the greatest Indian rulers. His father Humayun had appointed Bairam Khan as the guardian of Akbar before his death. Akbar faced a number of problems soon after his ascension to the throne. Akbar's greatest enemy was Hemu, the prince minister of Muhammad Shah of Bengal. Hemu wanted to expel the Mughals from India. Muhammad Shah, who made Chunar as his capital, dispatched Hemu with a huge army to capture Delhi. In 1556 AD, the armies of Akbar and Hemu met on the historical plains of Panipat. Though Hemu was in an advantageous position, finally he was defeated and killed. Akbar consolidated his position in Delhi and Agra. The regency of Bairam Khan, which was responsible for the re-establishment of Mughal Empire, lasted for 4 years. In 1560, he was dismissed from office and was asked by Akbar to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca. He was killed by a band of Afghans as planned by Akbar, who wanted to ascertain his freedom from his regent. Maham Anaga was the foster mother of Akbar. She controlled the affairs of the state for 2 years. This period was popularly called as petticoat government. Her son Adam Khan's high-handed behavior was disliked by Akbar, so he killed him by throwing him down the stairs twice with his hands and legs bound. Within 40 days of the death of his son, Maham Anaga died. Akbar became free from the clutches of his regent and foster mother and became the real ruler. Akbar extended his empire from Bengal in the east to Afghanistan in the west and from Himalayas in the north to Golconda in the south. The territories he conquered included Jodhpur, Jaisalmer and Bikaner. Chunar and Malwa were also conquered by him. Bihari Mal, the ruler of Amber, accepted him as his overlord and married his daughter to Akbar. Jahangir was born to them. Rani Durgavati of Gondwana defended her region, but she was defeated by Akbar. Thus, Akbar established a vast empire. In this topic, you have learnt Akbar ascended the throne at the age of 14. His greatest enemy was Hemu, the prince minister of Muhammad Shah. Hemu was defeated and killed in the Battle of Panipat by Akbar. Akbar made himself free from the clutches of his regent and his foster mother and became the real ruler. Akbar made a number of conquests and extended his empire. At the end of the topic, you will be able to understand Akbar's policy of extension, identify his literary and religious policies, appreciate his reforms, estimate his contributions to the Mughal Empire. Akbar maintained friendly relations with the Rajputs. He entered into matrimonial alliances with the Rajputs. He married Jodhbai, the princess of Jaipur. He also married the princesses of Bikaner and Jaisalmer. He gave high post to the Rajputs because they were the brave and honest. Some of the notable Rajputs of his empire were Raja Todar Mal, Raja Bhagwan Das, Raja Man Singh and Birbal. He even abolished the pilgrimage tax and jizya, which was levied on non-Muslims. Akbar, in order to extend his empire and to check the advances of the Portuguese, decided to bring Deccan under his control. Akbar defeated Chand Bibi, who ruled Ahmednagar and annexed it to his empire. He also annexed Berar and Khandesh. Though Akbar was an illiterate, he gave a lot of encouragement to the scholars. Some of the eminent scholars of his empire were Abul Fazal, Abul Faizi and Raja Todar Mal. Raja Todar Mal had translated Bhagavata Purana into Persian language. Aini Akbari and Akbarnama was written by Abul Fazal. Ramayana and Mahabharata were translated into Persian language by Abul Faizi. A great musician of Akbar's court was Tansin. Akbar was tolerant towards other religions because his father was a Sunni Muslim, his mother was a Shia. Bairam Khan, his guardian, was a Shia and his tutor Sheikh Mubarak was a Shia as well. Ibadat Khana was built by Akbar in 1575, where he gathered together the religious leaders of various faiths and had discussions with them. Later, the decree of infallibility was issued by him, according to which Akbar became both the religious head and the king as well. In 1582, a new religion called Din-e-Ilahi, or divine faith, was established as a national religion. This religion was based on the principle of universal toleration. It had the good principles of all the religions. But Akbar did not compel anyone to follow his new religion. However, this religion disappeared after the death of Akbar. In the field of land revenue, Akbar's policies were similar to that of Sher Shah. However, Raja Todar Mal helped Akbar to improve the revenue system of Sher Shah. In the first place, a survey was made on the lands and then the share of the state was fixed as 1/3 of the produce of the land. The taxes could be paid in cash or in kind by the ryots. The cultivators were given title deeds or patta, for which they signed a deed of agreement or kubiliyat. They were also provided with loans to carry on cultivation. These loans could be paid easily in annual installments. Akbar introduced the Mansabdari system, which he borrowed from Persia. This system was the basis of civil and military administration of the Mughals. The word Mansab means rank or grade. The Mansabdars were expected to maintain troops and to provide help to the king when he was in need. The king transferred the Mansabdars often to avoid them becoming strong. Though the system worked well during Akbar's period, it deteriorated after him. Marvelous development was witnessed in the field of art and architecture during Akbar's reign. To commemorate the conquest of Gujarat, an imposing gateway at Fatehpur Sikri was built called Buland Darwaza. He also constructed a new palace at Fatehpur Sikri. Red sandstone was used to build the Akbari Mahal, the Lahore Fort, Panch Mahal, Jahangiri Mahal, Jodh Bai Palace, etc. Akbar ruled for 50 years. He died in the year 1605. His period witnessed growth in all fields. He is said to be the real founder of the Mughal Empire in India. In this topic, you have learnt Akbar maintained friendly relations with the Rajputs and appointed them to high posts. He conquered the Deccan region to extend his empire and to check the advance of the Portuguese. Akbar encouraged scholars and number of literary works was translated from Sanskrit to Persian. He established a new religion. Akbar ruled for 50 years. He is said to be the real founder of the Mughal Empire in India. At the end of the topic, you will be able to analyze the role of Jahangir, appreciate his role in the field of justice, identify the part played by Nurjahan. Jahangir, AD 1605 to AD 1627, and the British travellers. Salim, the eldest son of Akbar, became the next emperor in 1605, after the death of his father. He took up the title of Jahangir, conqueror of the world. Soon after the accession of Jahangir, his eldest son, Khusra, with the blessings of the fifth Sikh Guru, Guru Arjan Dev, revolted against his father. Guru Arjan Dev was killed and Khusra was defeated and imprisoned. He was blinded and killed later. This incident made the Sikhs and the Mughals enemies. Sir Thomas Roe and Captain William Hawkins visited the court of Jahangir and got permission from the emperor to start trade at Surat in 1615. Literary works and justice. Jahangir showed special interest in poetry and art. He had written his autobiography, Tuzuk-e-Jahangir, in which he has given a detailed account of his reign. He was a great writer and a scholar. In the field of justice, his contribution is noteworthy. Jahangir set up something called a chain of justice. This chain was installed between Shah Burji Palace in Agra Fort and a stone pillar on the banks of the river Yamuna. Anyone who wanted justice could pull the chain and alert the king in the palace and seek justice. Role of Nurjahan. Nurjahan occupies a unique place in the history of the Mughals. She was an extremely beautiful woman. Her name was Merhunisa. Mirza Giyas Beg was her father. Jahangir killed her husband Sher Afghan and married her in 1611. He gave her the name Nur Mahal or Light of the Palace. She was later called Nurjahan or Light of the World. She was cultured, intelligent and educated. She took up the administration of the empire between 1611 and 1626 AD. This period is called the Age of Nurjahan. After the death of Jahangir in 1627, she withdrew from administration and died in 1645 AD. Estimate. Jahangir was a successful and benevolent ruler. The economic condition of the people under him was good. He was kind and generous. He took delight in laying out fine gardens. Shalimar and Nishat gardens were laid by him in Srinagar. In the field of architecture too, he showed great interest. Akbar's tomb at Sikandra, Itmad-ud-Dawla's tomb near Agra, and the great mosque at Lahore are some of the remarkable buildings constructed during Jahangir's reign. In this topic, you have learnt, after Akbar's death, Salim, his eldest son, assumed the title Jahangir and ascended the throne. Jahangir was a scholar and a writer. He wrote his autobiography, Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri. He set up the chain of justice to enable his people to seek justice at any time. The period between 1611 AD and 1626 AD is called as the Age of Nurjahan. Jahangir was a generous and a kind ruler. At the end of the topic, you will be able to understand the role of Shah Jahan in the expansion of his empire, appreciate his contribution to architecture, estimate Shah Jahan as the greatest ruler of India. Shah Jahan 1628 AD to 1658 AD. Shah Jahan was born on 5th January 1592 at Lahore. He was the son of Jahangir. His mother was a Rajput princess. His name was Khurram. On Jahangir's death, Nurjahan made a final attempt to regain power. She called her son-in-law Shahryar with a view to enthrone him as the next king. Khurram was in Deccan at that time, but Asif Khan, the father-in-law of Khurram, sent a messenger to bring Khurram back to Delhi at the earliest. In the meantime, Shahryar proclaimed himself as the king. But Asaf Khan defeated the forces of Nurjahan and Shahryar and made Shah Jahan, or king of the world, as the emperor. Conquest. Mahabad Khan was sent by Shah Jahan to conquer Ahmednagar. In 1636, it was annexed with the Mughal Empire. Shah Jahan fought with the Portuguese forces. His 3 attempts to capture Kandahar ended in a failure. The rulers of Bijapur and Golconda were defeated by him. Aurangazeb was made as the governor of the Deccan. The power and prestige of the Mughal Empire was at its height during the reign of Shah Jahan. Therefore, his period has been termed as the Golden Age of the Mughals. There was both prosperity and poverty in his empire. The accounts of foreigners gives us information about the poverty, and his architectural work speaks about his prosperity. Prince of Builders and Jama Masjid. Shah Jahan's buildings represent the climax of Mughal architecture. He is called as the engineering king or the prince of builders. He used red sandstone and white marble for his buildings. He built a new city called Shah Jahan A.D. and made it his capital. The red fort, called Paradise on Earth, consists of Moti Mahal, Rang Mahal, Diwan-i-Yam and Diwan-i-Khas. Jama Masjid is one of the largest mosques in the world. It was built with white marble in Delhi by Shah Jahan. The Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is considered as a dream in marble. It is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It was built in memory of Mumtaz Mahal, the wife of Shah Jahan. It is the most famous buildings of the Mughals. Ustad Isa was the chief architect who built Taj Mahal. It took nearly 22 years to complete this monument, and the cost is estimated around 20 lakhs at that time. His other monuments include Moti Masjid or the Pearl Mosque at Agra and the tomb of Jahangir. Taj Mahal. Shah Jahan had a wonderful collection of precious stones. The exquisite peacock throne adorned with precious stones took 7 years for completion. The Kohinoor diamond added to the magnificence of his empire. This peacock throne was carried away by Nadir Shah, the Persian invader. Music, both vocal and instrumental, received Shah Jahan's patronage. In the field of literature, Hindi and Persian made great progress. Shah Jahan was a patron of arts and letters. A war of succession broke out among his 4 sons when he fell ill in 1657 AD. Shah Jahan was imprisoned by his son Aurangazeb in 1658 AD, and he remained in prison till his death in 1666 AD. Estimate. Shah Jahan was a capable administrator and statesman. Shah Jahan maintained his ancestral tradition of personally administering justice. He is one of the greatest rulers of India. He was stern in punishing the oppressors and dispensing even-handed justice. Foreign travellers Bernier and Trevenier had left behind a good record on Shah Jahan. In this topic you have learnt, Shah Jahan was born in 1592 in Lahore. His mother was a Rajput princess. His father-in-law placed Shah Jahan on the throne after defeating the forces of Nurjahan and Shahryar. The rulers of Bijapur and Golconda were defeated by Shah Jahan. The Mughal Empire's power and prestige reached its height during the reign of Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was called as the engineering king and the prince of builders for his immense contribution in the field of architecture. One of the important monuments of Shah Jahan is the Taj Mahal, which was built in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. He was kept in prison by his son Aurangazeb in 1658 AD and remained there till his death in 1666 AD. At the end of the topic, you will be able to justify the ascension of Aurangazeb, analyze his religious policy, understand his conquest. Aurangazeb, the 3rd son of Shah Jahan, was the last great Mughal emperor. Aurangazeb was in Deccan when his father fell ill in 1657. He rushed to Delhi to capture the throne. A war of succession broke out among the 4 sons of Shah Jahan. The sons of Shah Jahan were Dara, Shuko, Shah Shuja, Aurangazeb and Murad. Aurangazeb was successful in ascending the throne after killing his 3 brothers and imprisoning his father. He took up the title as Alamgir. Aurangazeb read the Quran regularly. He was a staunch and an orthodox Sunni Muslim. He did not like the non-Muslims and the Shia Muslims as well. He considered all Muslims as inferior. Jizya was imposed on all non-Muslims. Aurangazeb's ideal was to transform India into an Islamic state. He removed all the Hindus from the service of the state. This measure made him an enemy of the Rajputs, Jats, Sikhs, Marathas and Satnamis. The friendly relations between the Mughals and the Sikhs broke after Jahangir killed the 5th Sikh Guru. Aurangazeb's anti-Hindu policy further worsened the situation. The ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, protested against the anti-Hindu policy. Infuriated by this, Aurangazeb called the Guru to Delhi and forced him to embrace Islamism. When he refused, he was tortured and beheaded. This incident increased the enmity further. Guru Gobind Singh, who was the son of the ninth Sikh Guru, organized a military brotherhood among the Sikhs against the Muslims. This organization was called Khalsa. Aurangzeb wanted to suppress the growing power of the Marathas under Shivaji, so he sent Shaista Khan, the governor of Deccan, to defeat Shivaji. Shivaji, with a band of 400 soldiers, attacked Shaista Khan at Pune. Shaista Khan lost one of his fingers in this incident, but he managed to escape. A little later, Jai Singh was sent by Aurangzeb to persuade Shivaji to visit the Mughal court. Shivaji accepted the invitation and visited the court of Aurangzeb, but he was treated very badly and was imprisoned. However, Shivaji managed to escape, after which he became a formidable enemy for the Mughals. The second half of the reign of Aurangzeb was spent in Deccan region. He spent almost 25 years of his lifetime in Deccan. His long and continuous stay in Deccan deteriorated the administration, which led to the decline of his empire. His treasury was almost empty because of the numerous wars he waged. His enemies became powerful on all sides. The continued hard labor weakened Aurangzeb, and he died in 1707 AD at the age of 88. Aurangzeb's administration was centralized despotism, with all the powers concentrated in his hands. The Mughal Empire disintegrated mainly because of the religious policy of Aurangzeb. He lost control over administration because of his long stay in the Deccan. Moreover, his suspicious nature ruined the Mughal Empire, and towards his last days he was unable to administer his vast empire. He was successful as a Musalman, but he failed miserably as a king. In this topic you have learned: Aurangzeb ascended the throne after killing his brothers in the War of Succession. He was a staunch and orthodox Sunni Muslim. He killed the ninth Sikh Guru, and the relation with the Sikhs was further strained. He made efforts to suppress the Marathas under Shivaji, but made them his formidable enemy. Aurangzeb's long stay in the Deccan region disintegrated his empire. At the end of the topic, you will be able to identify the administrative system of the Mughals, analyze their judicial administration, appreciate their revenue administration, examine the causes for the failure of the Mughals. Mughal administration, central administration. The Mughals had a centralized administration, and all the powers were vested in the hands of the emperor or Padshah. The emperor exercised absolute power, and he was a benevolent despot. He was regarded as the shadow of God on earth. The emperor had a council of ministers to advise him, and the wazir or the prime minister was the chief of them. Provincial administration. For efficient administration, the empire was divided into provinces or subas. The subas were divided into sarkars, and the sarkars were further divided into parganas. The lowest unit of administration was the village. A subedar or governor was in charge of the subas. During Akbar's reign, there was a total of 15 subas. Revenue administration. The land revenue was the main source of income for the Mughals. Raja Todarmal, who worked under Sher Shah, was the finance minister of Akbar. He helped Akbar in framing the land revenue system. The land revenue system of Sher Shah was further developed by Akbar, and hence Sher Shah is known as the forerunner of Akbar. The Zapti system was introduced by Akbar. Uniform standard of measurement was used to measure the lands. The lands were divided into 3 categories based off the soil fertility and yield. 1/3 of the yield was fixed as the state's share, which could be paid in cash or in kind. The revenue officers were instructed to be kind with the peasants. Tax remission was granted in times of flood or famine. Military administration. The Mughal army comprised of infantry, cavalry and elephantry. The most important part of the army was the cavalry. Mansabdari system was introduced by Akbar. Mansab means place or a rank. The ranks of the Mansabs depended on the number of horsemen they possessed. Their grades varied from 10 to 10,000 Mansabs. They also maintained soldiers on foot. During times of war, the Mansabdars helped the king by providing him with their horsemen and foot soldiers. They received a fixed salary in return for their service.
Judicial Administration. In the field of judicial administration, the king was the final authority. He dealt with the appeals from the lower courts and special cases. The chief qazis were the judicial officers at the lower level. Except Akbar, the rest of the Mughal emperors followed Islamic law. Akbar appointed pandits to deal with Hindu cases.
Causes for the downfall of the Mughals.
One of the potent causes for the decline of the Mughal Empire was the deterioration and demoralization of the army. The religious policies of Aurangazeb and the foreign invasions were responsible for the fall of the empire. Aurangazeb's religious policy antagonized the Jats, Rajputs and Sikhs, and he could not get much-needed help from them to the empire. In Aurangazeb's centralized administration, he never entrusted any responsibility to anybody. He did not believe anyone, and his sons were not trained to rule the vast empire. As a result, the provincial governors declared independence after Aurangazeb's death. Continuous war with the Marathas weakened the empire. Shivaji and his son Sambhaji constantly fought with Aurangazeb. Hence, administration was neglected and money was wasted. The Mughal army was a heterogeneous group. There was no harmony among them. The army degenerated from the moral point of view in due course of time.
Causes for the downfall of the Mughals. Another major cause for the fall of the Mughal Empire was the war of succession that broke out among the sons of the emperors. This was mainly because of the absence of the law of primogeniture. Moreover, the Mughal army began to disintegrate as the soldiers gave importance for their personal benefit than for the welfare of the state. The coming of the Europeans resulted in the failure of the Mughals. Causes for the downfall of the Mughal Empire.
The successors of Aurangazeb were weak. They could not resist foreign invasions. The Persian ruler, Nadir Shah, invaded India in 1739 AD and his army looted Delhi. The fields were destroyed and left barren, which resulted in a famine in Delhi. Nadir Shah took away the peacock throne and Kohinoor diamond with him. The next invasion was by Ahmed Shah Abdali, an Afghan commander who attacked Delhi in 1761 AD. In the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761 AD, not only the Mughals, but the Marathas who came to help the emperor were defeated. This led to the complete destruction of the Mughal power. Only Delhi, Agra and Gujarat remained under the Mughal possession.
In this topic you have learnt, the Mughal administration was military in nature and the emperors were benevolent despots. The empire was divided into subas and the subedar was in charge of the subas. Land was measured on the basis of fertility and yield and revenue was fixed at 1/3 of the produce. Akbar introduced the Mansabdari system and the Mansabs helped the emperors during times of war. The Mughal Empire started to disintegrate from the time of Aurangazeb.